Hello, welcome to Locked on Sharks, the premier hockey podcast of your favorite team in the Bay Area. The Sharks lose in overtime. They add some reinforcements to their blue line. William Eklund scores a penalty shot goal. So all that and more on today's episode of Locked on Sharks.
You're Locked on Sharks, your daily podcast on the San Jose Sharks. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
I'm your host, JD Young, contributor at Fear the Fin used to be, and San Jose Hockey Now. I want to thank you for making Locked on Sharks your first listen. We're free and available wherever you get podcasts. And of course, you can watch this on YouTube as well, where we cover your team every day. And we're winding out the week with another Sharks overtime loss because that's all that they do. But before we get into the actual game, we're going to talk about William Eklund, of course, this penalty shot. If the Sharks have a big decision to make with Eklund coming up about whether to send him back down to the AHL or to keep him in the NHL for the rest of the season. And, James Reimer and new look lines. Before we get into all that, though, the Sharks did have a couple of transactions to discuss. So one, they reportedly signed a Finnish defenseman that they've been kind of keeping an eye on, keeping tabs on here. He was a bit of a late bloomer is kind of what everyone's been calling him. But Valtteri Pulli, 6'6", 209-pound left-handed defenseman from Finland. There's kind of, like I said, kind of a late bloomer. Didn't really start producing until this year. In 53 games, 3 goals, 14 assists, 17 points this year, a +12 if you're into plus minus. Really started the season on fire and then kind of tailed off as kind of the season went along, but still signed a 2-year deal with the Sharks. So we'll get into kind of what his path and timeline is here in a second. So lastly, Allen, from EP Ringside, some of his thoughts on he kind of wrote a nice article because there's a lot of teams kind of looking at it, potentially signing him. Of course, now the article is not loading, so it's going to be really slow. Let's see if I can get it to load here really quick. He wrote about like what he's bringing to an organization. So again, a late bloomer type of player, but for the Sharks, just as worth taking a swing on, right? So kind of some of his thoughts. He's got a solid, heavy shot from the point. He does have a hard time seeing Pulli as someone who can contribute much to an NHL's team's offense in the future. His offensive game already started to fade in the background a bit during the season, but that doesn't have any high-end tools that wouldn't suggest he'd be able to produce, and he doesn't have any high-end tools that suggest he would be able to produce much at the NHL level, unless the team thinks he's able to take 1 or 2 additional steps forward, that the season was just the beginning of a growth arc. There's always that, everybody's development is a little bit different. Pulli's transition to defense game looked better earlier in the season than what it looked like later. Something to, keep an eye on. And when he's at his best, he's gapping up nice and early, proactively angling forwards away from the middle and towards the boards off the rush, then engaging physically, cutting them off at their hands and sealing them off from the puck. Other times he'd use his reach and long stick to disrupt, again, 6'6", the play before he even had properly begun, poking the puck away at the time of pass reception. He's not particularly mobile, again, 6'6", but with reasonable improvement, you could think he could skate at a good enough level for his size to play in the NHL. In zone settings, there's other issues. He's better as an on-puck rather than off-puck defender and can be beaten with cutbacks along the boards, especially when he overcommits his weight to one side. Problems with again, when you're 6'6". So everyone, of course, you love size, all that fun stuff, but there are drawbacks to being 6'6". So he signed a 2-year deal. There's especially with European players, the new kind of contracts and stuff right now. He'll have a chance to win a job coming into the Sharks camp. If he doesn't make it, his Finnish team, who still owns his rights, they get first priority. So if they want to keep him, they can keep him. If not, then he can go to the AHL. So couple things there, or he could always, if they get through camp and the Sharks realize like, hey, you're not going to make the team, you could always just terminate the contract, shake hands, he goes back to Europe, and then the Sharks continue on their way, and it doesn't really cost them anything. So yes. So again, we've seen Mike Grier attacking this blue line and trying to add some pieces. This is worth a swing, right? It is somebody you didn't draft. You bring him over here. We know the blue line is going to be kind of up for grabs, right? Trying to restock that. So worth a swing. Worst case scenario, he doesn't work out. He goes back to Finland, and he's just another name in a long line of lists that the Sharks have tried to sign and see if they can work out here. So Shakir Mukhamadullin, he also arrived in San Jose and was assigned to the Barracuda. I love this. I think, again, let him go play in the Barracuda. He's probably going to start next year on the Barracuda as well. Let him go play down there, see if he can help a blue line that has been struggling with injuries this season. Add a shot to the blue line, especially right now with Derrick Pouliot playing up on the Sharks. Having Mukhamadullin, who's going to be able to run the power play for you and really kind of help a blue line that needs it as the Barracuda make their run to the playoffs as well. And then Nikita Okhotyuk, I'm working on it. Nikita Okhotyuk. He's in San Jose. They're going to kind of see where he's at. I think he's kind of week to week right now. So yeah, we'll kind of see where he's at, if he's able to play or not this season. If not, I mean, he'll be around next year. So we'll see if he gets some games in, hopefully this season. So, and then Henry Thrun also won the Sharks. Remember, they traded for him at the trade deadline, traded for his rights at the trade deadline. The Harvard captain defenseman. Again, Sharks attacking that blue line right now, trying to add whatever they can to it right now. He won the Hockey Defensive Defenseman Award of the Year. So congrats to him. Again, I know the 3rd round pick for him seems a little high, but I don't think the Sharks make that trade if they don't think he's going to sign with them. And he made it clear he wasn't going to sign with the Ducks. I think he's got a chance to sign with the Sharks. I think he's going to sign with the Sharks, and I think he's going to play. I won't be surprised if he plays NHL games this year, depending on when their season ends, all that fun stuff, how far Harvard goes. But so yes, all caught up on the transactions, everything like that. Let's get into the game. But before we do that, of course, we need to take a quick break, talk to you guys about our friends over at FanDuel. We're past the midway point of the NBA season. Playoffs are right around the corner. Now's the perfect time to download the FanDuel app, America's #1 sportsbook, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download this FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. You can bet on everything from the money line to point scores and threes drained. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with a same-game parlay. So don't miss a chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NBA. I was just informed that William Eklund won his first star of the night. So let's start with there. William Eklund, again, showing the improvement. Some of you guys doubted me, and some of you guys still doubt me in the comments. I see you guys. He's too little, et cetera, et cetera. Again, he's 20 years old, guys. He's you're seeing these steps, you're seeing the improvement with him. And if you don't want to believe in William Eklund and how great he's going to be, then have fun. Go root for another team. I don't know, man. But yes, scored on the penalty shot tonight, which is I feel like you get like 2 chances at a year at a penalty shot, just in general for a team. There's like very rarely called, but great goal, even better Selly. Love the Selly from him, just the like pumping up the crowd, all that fun stuff. So I know Mom was in attendance tonight too, watching that. So look at that, putting on a show for Mom. Good guy, William Eklund, putting on a show for Mom as she travels all the way from Sweden. But you just see it, right? The confidence. He got a lot of special teams, not only on the power play, but also on the penalty kill tonight. The Sharks were on the PK 3 times, and William Eklund, pulling up the box score right now. So William Eklund played 50 seconds. Again, that is earning that trust, right? That's Noah Gregor, for example, who's been kind of a staple in the PK department. It's 49 seconds. He's not the Couture, Lindblom, Laurent, like those type of levels, but more than Hurdle, who played 24 seconds. PK, like you're seeing him start to kind of earn some of that trust, and get everything he learned in the AHL playing at the Barracuda. He's getting those opportunities right. We talked about this all season. If you're not scoring, what else can you do for me? And Eklund is proving that. He played 20 minutes and 40 seconds tonight. So among the forwards, that was 4th. So Barabanov played 22 minutes. Couture played 20:46. Hurdle played 20:56, and then Eklund played 20:40. So they're giving him plenty of run here. You saw him more engaged, I think, in the power play, especially. He was kind of the main puck handler, especially on that first power play, creating offense and doing William Eklund things. So again, feeling these steps, and the Sharks are going to have to make a decision here soon, kind of coming up after this weekend. So because he's played, how many games is he at? So again, just as a reminder, he can play up to 9 games this season. Before, if he plays that 10th game, then the first year of his contract basically kicks in this year. So if he only plays 9 and he goes back to the Barracuda, doesn't play any more games this year with San Jose, his first year of his contract technically won't kick in until next year, the slide rule, right? So he's now played 6. Is that counting tonight? So 6 or 7. Hold on, pulling this up quickly. He has played 6. So 6 games, including tonight. So far, 2 goals, 2 assists. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, 7 goals, 7 games that didn't count. So 7 games, including it. So he has 2 more games that he can play before they have to make a decision. I'm firmly on I don't care about the contract thing. Like, I get it, pushing it back. My thing is, you may save a little bit of money now, but in the long run, you're probably gonna have to pay him more when you offer that next contract. Again, most contracts are going to be based off how much time on ice you play and how many points you accumulate during that time. If you're, instead of having basically 2 years of sample size before you give him his next contract, and of course you can always play the RFA game with him and give him a bridge deal, et cetera, compared to a full 3 years sample size of that contract. That's my thing, right? Is the sooner he gets to his next contract, you might be able to sign him to more of a steal, right? Where maybe you lock him up for 7 years at, again, I'm just throwing 7 years at $7 million. Who knows where he's going to be at right now? But if you feel good about that, about his development, 7 years at $7 million, and then that covers his peak prime years, so that's like through age 29. And then, right, you're getting, that could be one of those steal contract type of things. Look at teams, like Buffalo and the Senators, they're locking up their young talent for these longer deals for a little bit, 7x7 type of deals with guys that you think are going to be special type of players. So compared to, again, you add another year, he has 3 full seasons, and then, you might see that average value per year go up a little bit. So I don't care about if you kill a year, right? You did it with Bordelot last year. Bordelot this entire season maybe plays a couple NHL games, who knows? But you've already kind of killed 2 years on Bordelot's contract. He's going to become, he's got 1 more year next season, and then he's going to be an RFA type of situation. So again, Eklund is proving that he is able to fit on this NHL team. He's able to help on this NHL team. You're seeing that he's learning every night type of situation. I think the best thing for his development is to continue to play NHL games right now. Continue that development, continue to do what you're doing right now. And then again, the Shark season ends April 13th. The Barracuda play that weekend. They're playing in Tucson, probably for their playoff. It's basically going to be playoff games. You can send him after the Shark season's over. You can send him back to the AHL, and he can play games in the AHL. Try to go make the playoffs type of things, especially when you have hopefully a dissect coming over Mukhamadullin. You're going to have this Barracuda team is going to be looking a lot better here in the next coming weeks than they do right now. So don't be cheap. Just let him go play in the NHL. Is the best thing for his development, right? And the cap will hopefully one day start to go up. So before we continue, look at how new look lines look, all that fun stuff. Do want to let you guys know about the Locked On Game to Game. So thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. When you're done with this podcast, go check out the Locked On Game to Game NHL. Every moment, every top performance, every result, Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across the NHL with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NHL, available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get podcasts. All right. New look lines tonight. So a little David Quinn broke out the blender tonight. Saw some new lines, especially because the Sharks have been losing. I think he wanted to kind of mix it up here. So we had Barabanov, Hurdle, and Andreas Johnson. Lines also got messed up a little bit too because Svechnikov left this game early. Looked like he took a knee-to-knee in the first period and did not return. So we'll kind of see how they look a little bit. So we'll look at the sample size of the lines that we do have, right? We also had Eklund, Couture, Kevin Labanc. So Labanc got a promotion, especially after his good play against the Blue Jackets, finally kind of digging himself out of the doghouse that is the fourth line. And then it was Svechnikov, Sturm, and Noah Gregor. Like I said, they played basically like a shift or two, and then Svechnikov was out. And then Zetterlund, Lawrence, and then Lindblom was the fourth line. But again, things got all screwy with Svechnikov. So we'll focus on kind of the top lines here. Barabanov, Hurdle, and Johnson played 11-27 time on ice together, 5-on-5, 10 shots for, 8 allowed. Actual shots was 5-4. Did give up a goal, 5 scoring chances, gave up 6, 3 high danger chances, gave up 3, 6, 5, and 1 fear zone starts. Next one, so Eklund, Couture, Labanc. I was really interested to see how this line would perform, especially because we've seen Couture and Barabanov play so well together all season. I was a little surprised to see Quinn break those guys up, but this line performed really well tonight. So 9:28 time on ice, 10 shot attempts, 4, 8 allowed, 6-2 actual shots, 9 scoring chances, the best of the entire team. Gave up 2, 5 high danger chances, gave up 0, 3 rush attempts, 4, and then 6, 3, and 2. So a little bit of sheltered, but not like super sheltered zone starts. So And then we had Zettel and Sturm Gregor play a bunch together. They had 5. So they played 425, 5 shot attempts, 7 given up. And then actual shots was 4-2, 4 scoring chances, gave up 2, 1-1 high danger chances. So, and 1-1 and 3 type of. And again, with Svechnikov, we'll see. He's been kind of banged up recently, so I'm interested to see what the Sharks do here. Gadovich has been back at practice, but with a non-contact jersey. So I don't know if he's ready to kind of enter the fray again. So Sharks don't play again until Saturday, I do believe. I'm pretty sure. But so we'll see kind of what they do here if they're going to be down a 4. They've been basically just running 12-6 right now. In practice, like they don't really have anybody else. They're just kind of hanging out at the moment. So they would have to recall someone from. So yeah, they do play the Islanders on Saturday. So they would have to recall someone. I think Jeffrey Viel has been doing very, very well down in Kudaland, but again, you're trying to also win games for right now. So Gadovich is still on IR, and Luke Cunningham, of course, done for the season so as well. So we'll see what they do. Maybe bring up a Bordelot, maybe Martin Couch, I think played really well down there as well. You could bring up Jacob Peterson, who's still able to slide through waivers. So we'll see what they do in that situation. So, and then James Reimer, we're going to end with him because he was spectacular again tonight. 30 of 32 saves. It's going to be really interesting what the Sharks do at goaltender this offseason. We have plenty of time to talk about that. But, if you want to bring Reimer back, it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough decision because Reimer hasn't had a great season, but, he's been such a good guy. He's been playing much better, I think, at the end of the season here. But again, Reimer is also, 34, 35? I'm pulling up right now. So, he's 35 right now. So, interesting to see what the Sharks do here with one James Reimer. But he was great tonight. Sharks did a good job of limiting the high danger chances for him. Expected goals against those 3.46. He gave up 2 tonight in all situations. His 6 high danger shots saved 5 of them. 10 mid danger shots, saved 9 of them, and then 15 low danger shots. Of course, he saved all of them. So made some big saves. The James Reimer trying to play the puck at the circle. Absolutely hilarious. Tries to play the puck. Of course, it never goes right. If you're a goaltender, tend the goal, et cetera, et cetera. But then my favorite was just all the defensemen, everybody just getting inside the net to try. I still don't know how the Kraken didn't score. It boggles the mind. It looks like they had like the open net constantly, but sometimes you get a little lucky there. So, but again, James Reimer's played really well. I think he's deserved better than what his stats say this year with his save percentage and his win-loss and stuff like that. Again, you guys have watched the Sharks all season. They're bad. But we'll see what the Sharks do with Reimer. Maybe he slides into like the Aaron Dell role of being, but I think Reimer's still too good for that. And if you put Reimer on waivers, somebody will probably claim him. But maybe you're able to get a little lucky, and he slides in that Aaron Dell role of playing on the Barracuda, and then if you need him, somebody gets injured, he's able to come up type of situation. We shall see. But again, I still think if Reimer's probably still a little too good for that, and if Reimer goes on waivers, someone's probably going to claim him because I don't expect his contract to be. I would expect if you give Reimer like a 1 year, what is he making right now? What if you just give him like a 1 year, $2 million deal? It sounds about fair for Reimer next year. So we shall see. That's going to be it for me tonight. Thank you guys for making Locked On Sharks your first listen. Again, we cover your team every day. We'll be back on Monday. Got another draft profile coming for you guys next week with one Tony Ferrari. Shout out to Will Scouch. Absolute beaut. Supported me and supported the show and took a lot of time, out of his busy schedule to come on and, just talk hockey with us. If you didn't see, he's moving away from scouching. I think he kind of told me a little bit about his project. He's got something else coming down the pipeline, and I'm really excited for him. Again, just shout out to Scouch, absolute amazing guy. Who, again, just I don't know why he likes coming on and talking hockey with me. So if you missed probably his last podcast ever, go check out the Connor Bedard draft profile we did yesterday. So, Will, you're the best. I owe you like 1,000 beers when we get to Nashville. So I'll see you then, buddy. Follow me on Twitter at MyFryHole. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Locked On Sharks. You can listen wherever you get podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, watch on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. It's the best way to help me out directly. And until Monday, bye, friends.